one of the things that I noticed that helps is either doing like maybe a one pager or putting together like a quick, I guess a quick, almost like an article that you would write for like a magazine, but it would be like seven of the biggest mistakes I've seen people make when it comes to short-term rentals, or 7 of the biggest mistakes I've seen owners make when it comes to short-term rentals, and like list out the mistakes that you tend to see them make. And, you know, the last one would be, you know, like, you know, really what you want to boil down to is like how much work it takes to get it done and what you need to do to maintain it. Like, I think one of the things that people think about when they put things on Airbnb is, you know, it seems really simple. You just list it on Airbnb, but then they don't think about ratings and things like that. So it's like, in your experience, what are the kind of top things that you see people do and the mistakes that are made, which is why they end up turning to you, and kind of compiling that into a 1-page or 2-page document that you can give to them so that they are educated and they make a better, more educated decision. That's
a good idea.
So I saw something very similar with a gentleman did a, now I can't remember exactly how, he did something very similar where he was just like, he was a wedding photographer, but he is a professional wedding photographer. So when you compare his prices to, you know, Joe Schmo down the street who has a camera, you know, he has a hard time competing with them, and he doesn't want to necessarily reduce his prices because he is a professional business. And so one of the things he did was he does like a presentation on the top mistakes he sees that the top mistakes that brides make on the day of their wedding or for their wedding day that ruin their wedding day. You know, like every bride's goal is to have the perfect day. And the mistake that they make is they go cheap on the photographer and they don't have the pictures that they want after the fact to really celebrate that time and look back on that day. And they cut expenses, and they usually cut it in the photography because any Joe Schmo with a camera can take pictures. And so he did like a presentation on, you know, the top 10 mistakes I see brides make that ruin their wedding day. And it didn't have to just do with photography. It had to do with, you know, these are the things that here's a mistake that they make. One example was like, they look at the venue pictures online and think that that's what the venue looks like, and they don't visit before they actually pay a deposit. Like, that is a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that are ways that you can educate people and then steer them back in your direction. So you're giving them really valuable information and letting them know, hey, it seems easy, but here's some of the biggest mistakes I've seen people make, which is why, you know, it's really good for you to hire a professional to do these things. So it's kind of like a way to kind of steer them back towards you and make them realize that it's not all as easy as Airbnb advertising makes it seem.